Perilous Exoticus, The Coral's Affair by Shweta Chatterjee. Chapter 1. It was dawn and raining. Cloudy weather with thundering twitches in the sky. All grey-colored with windy atmosphere, and I was in the mid of the meeting. The 8th round of my new job. Details are as follows. "What's that with you and memory?" Dr. Finch, the psychiatrist, asked. "I have been always good in remembering things. I mean, that's just totally me, which distinguishes from others," I replied. "The good ones or the bad ones?" "Both, I guess. I have no control over them. They just come all over again at once, whenever they want. Bad ones mostly." "Is that your mind focused now?" "I guess so." "Do you understand the consequences of joining our firm? Your current identity will be lost forever. But the good part is, people like you are only hired here. You will be always under surveillance of a partner. You need to adjust with him." "He? Who's going to be my partner? I don't need any partner, please." "Why? He's very good. I'm sorry you need to get a partner here as per our choice. According to shuffling, your match is with... With whom? Why did you pause?" "Mr. Conan Brighton, your fellow partner in high school." "What? How do you know that?" "That was ages ago, and we are not in contact since after." "I'm sorry, Dr. Emily Roosevelt. This is my final offer on behalf of our firm. If you agree with the terms and conditions of this association, then you can begin your new life as soon as possible. Your first posting is in Seychelles." I had no other choice left. Either I had to continue with my current stinking life, where I didn't like anything anymore, or I need to leave everything, including my identity, and patch up with a partner with whom I competed all my life. I was dwelled into my own thoughts for over 5 minutes. There was indignant silence in the room. "I have decided I want this job. I'm ready to sign the agreements. I'm ready for Seychelles," I said. Soon I filled the form and signed all the agreements. Everything was done under next 15 minutes. I was all set to start a perilous but exciting life journey, leaving behind everything except my body and my mind. Chapter 2. Time. Fall 2007. It was the night I could not sleep before I left my hometown for the first time and my family behind me. I used to live with my family in a town where there was hardly any opportunity of growing up easily, especially for girls. I always had this fire inside my belly to dream to do great things for the world, so that when I die, people remember me not by my face but by my deeds. For example, Mother Teresa. I was 19 years old, 5 feet 2.5 inches tall. Please don't forget this half inch. It makes a very little difference, but still there's a difference between half feet 2 inches and half feet 2.5 inches. I weighed 78 kgs most of my lifetime, and thus I never competed with any girl of my age. I competed with the weighing machine showing 80 kgs. So this combination made me quite chubby. And believe me, I never thought of having a model-like figure. What's the motto of life where you eat half an orange and wait for 2 hours to come again and have one salmon as lunch? No. That's something that my principle of metabolism denies. I don't feel guilty in saying Yes, my precious brain comprising of two cerebral hemispheres that operates my every decision, augmentation, discipline and rewards needs an enormous amount of glucose. Now, is it my fault the brain doesn't eat proteins and craves for glucose only? A little here and there, fat doesn't bother me. My mother started crying when I was leaving, and so my sister's eyes were red. She must have cried all night. She was 8 years younger than me. The moment she opened her eyes after her birth, she saw me first, not my mother. Till then, Lakeisha and I never got separated. So, yeah, that was going to be our first time. She was just 12 years old. I hugged both of them and said, "Take care." But I didn't cry. My determination was strong enough to be a doctor, a brave doctor. I was living my dreams in real, alas. I couldn't actually see anything at all that was going around me. Yes, I was a total nerd, but ambitious. Is it a problem to be an ambitious individual? I asked myself when I was sitting in the car with my dad. He was going to see me off to the airport. That was my first time I left home, and that was also the first time to open the gate for my inner emotions. I was feeling sad, but also happy at the same time. We arrived at the airport at 8 a.m., where I was supposed to meet my agent of the Apex Consultants, who made all the arrangements for me. I was going to China to study medicine with many other students who belonged to the same consultant and also from Aspertic Consultants Agency. I was the only one who belonged to North India. Others were from South India, different provinces. As we were all from India, unity in diversity had to be involved, showing different skin shades, regions, and religions. The consultant gave us our passports and currency in dollars that we were supposed to change in the Bank of China after arriving there. And then the agent broke the news to us, 19 or 18 years olds, that nobody from the agencies were coming to direct us till we reach our destination. And we all batchmates saw each other with distinguished surprised looks. We were supposed to be on our own and our guardians then onwards. Chapter 3. Present. I was endorsed with a passport with ticket, print with PNR number. I was doing everything as per the protocol. They said, "No questions till you meet Mr. Conan Bryden." "Okay," I said. I went to the business counter of Jet Airlines for flight JT913. The receptionist checked my passport. I handed over my luggage to them as I kept it on the belt. My red-colored American tourist suitcase weighed 26 kgs. The woman in the counter said, "Miss Rosalind, your baggage weighs 1 kg extra. We are not going to request you for paying for that, but please mind it from next time." I was not sure that the woman was talking to me, as I totally forgot that my new identity is Miss Rosalind Wordsworth, a banker in state of India. "Oh, yes," I said in panic, not for extra 1 kg, but for forgetting my real identity. The lady put a sticker on my baggage and had torn a small part from it. The luggage number was written over it. She pasted that piece of paper at the back of my boarding card and handed over to me. "Ma'am, this is your boarding card. Here is your gate number. Please take this tag also for your hand luggage and laptop bag. Have a safe journey, ma'am. Thank you," the lady instructed me in a very clear voice. I said, "Okay, thanks for the guidance," being not sure what to say more to her. Traveling with a fake ID, and that too for the first time, was so toxic for me. I was nearly suffocating because the next purpose was to check in to go to the gate that had been dedicated to me for boarding. After 30 minutes, I was at my assigned gate number with proper stamps on the tags and my boarding card. I was ready to board for Seychelles and say goodbye forever to my home country, India. But instead I said as the flight took off, "See ya soon, motherland, if luck permits." The flight landed smoothly, But we, the passengers, suffered a lot of turbulence when the flight was flying in the sky. People were terrified, but I had nothing important to live for. All I was doing was to die, but death in the form of sacrifice. Honestly speaking, I had tried to suicide a lot of times. I was doctor who got 86 out of 100 in forensic medicine, but I failed to do so. Why? I can't think of afterlife in hell forever, or if there is no hell, then my soul would get arrested in this purgatory called earth. I didn't have that much courage. Neither I was able to carry on with my so-called life, nor did I have enough courage to end it thinking about what would happen to my soul after life. I just knew sacrificing my life for my motherland would be the only way. At least my country would compensate it by gifting money and the medal of highest rank awarding to my family. I was a doctor, and I was a soldier too. I was an army doctor who had been assigned to become a spy as I was fit for the job. And so was I happy to take up the job, because in her real life I found myself insanely mysterious. I was unfit for a 9 to 5 job. I always found myself unfit for the lusty world that I was living in. But now I had already decided to live my life in my style. I boarded the airplane. I could not see any further passenger. Soon I settled at my seat, keeping my hand, luggage, and in the space at the top of my seat. I tugged up the seat belt across my 36 centimeter waist. Did I already describe you my figure? Yes, I did. I was 28 then, and still the same. It's not that I didn't do workouts all these years. I have joined several gyms, and after buying the gym card, I did go for a week. But something or the other unfortunate things would happen, and I had to let the card go in vain. It didn't happen one time. It happened every time, and so my mom said, "It's an evil eye upon you that doesn't wish you to attain slim and trim figure." Somehow I could not deny to. So the chubby me has always been chubby, who completed with the weighing machine saying 80 kgs. The captain of the flight said, "Hello, I'm Captain Sunitha Roger, the captain of the flight G8913. Welcome aboard. The temperature outside is 28 degrees Celsius. I hope we all have safe journey ahead." I was feeling sleepy, so I didn't know exactly when the airplane took off. The classical music of violin must be of Mozart helped me to sleep, I should say. It felt cozy enough. After 2 hours, when the air hostess woke me up, I was somewhere amidst my dream. I shouldn't say it as dream, because it's one of obvious nightmares. The nightmare of never going back to my people. I opened my eyes as the flight attendant opened the tray in front of me and served my food. She didn't even ask me what I wanted, whether I would prefer vegetarian or non-vegetarian. Of course, I would have preferred non-vegetarian, but only chicken. I was not used to eating non-vegetarian food outside my home because that I could not and never distinguish between mutton or chicken or beef or pork. I only ate seafood pizza at Pizza Hut. That's it. As soon as I opened the food that was placed in my tray, I saw there was nothing specific that I had ever eaten in my life. There was some sort of pickle made up of snakes. I didn't even know how it has been made. Mozzarella cheese, a bun, brown rice, sheep's placenta curry, Russian salad, dessert made up of black rice. I was unable to resist puking, but then I saw this message written on the back of the seat, which was in front of me saying, "Hello Rosaline, eat or puke, choice is always yours. Hope you enjoy the menu decided by myself. Long time no see, from Conan Brighton." I was thrilled seeing the food and moreover the message. I called the flight attendant, but a man wearing black trousers covering his face under a beige hoodie kept a parcel with a bouquet of white lilies, which were all-time favorite, on the seat beside me, and went away without even showing his face or talking to me. I was sure that he was hiding his face from me. Most probably he was wearing a mask over it. I shouted, "Hello, excuse me please, who are you, and are these to be mine?" A gift? The man ran away and I couldn't see him again. I was already feeling so much disgusted, and then I saw a message written on a tiny card which struck with a bouquet. Welcome to my heaven, Rosalind. Open up the parcel after you finish your lunch, because you need to go do big stuffs ahead. Chubby chick. Chubby chick? I blurted. But then I wondered, the man who kept the parcel beside me was Conan himself or someone from the agency. Anyways, I couldn't get my answer from anyone rather than Conan. I have been given my salary to sit dumb and work for the agency without asking questions except Conan himself. I was so hungry by that time, I finished my food as soon as I could. Yuck, I said myself when I ate the bun with snake pickle dip and while sucking the seashells. According to my sixth sense, the flight served me real Chinese food and did not even consider Indo-Chinese combo. As soon as I finished the food, including desserts, I opened the parcel. I knew there was somewhere camera fitted around me. I knew someone was watching me, or maybe some people were. The parcel was taped at various places. Since I was traveling in plane, I couldn't carry any kinds of knives or scissors, but I kept a pointed pin in my long wavy hair so that nobody could ever realize. With the help of that pointed pin, I opened the extensively wrapped parcel. And there it was, my dream, the only dream of mine since childhood, the scuba diving costume of my size. Firstly, I searched for the tag which said double XL, that is double extra large. Yes, that was one less than my perfect size at that moment. How do Conan know an appropriate measurement, that I thought for a second? And then my next question is in my mind was, does the whole institution who hired me knows my size? I started overthinking the question in my mind. The air hostess arrived to me and said, "Have you finished your lunch, Rosalind, ma'am?" I nodded my head up and down as a sign language of saying yup and didn't utter a word. Yes, I was distressed inside. My gut feeling was at its peak. She said, "Ma'am, please wear the costume as soon as possible. I have been given instructions just to inform you. As you are our only passenger in this flight, this is a message written for you." She took away the food tray and offered me some refreshers, and then she was gone, handing me a piece of white paper. I opened the piece of paper, which was very next clue, and the words were written in the form of prose. "The sleep time is over. Now is the time to wake up. Awaken just not your eyes, but also your gifted strength. Welcome to our world, and just watch down through your window pane." From Conan Brighton. Since I was tired and slept after boarding the plane, as the sun was shining on my face, I closed the window then itself. But after reading the prose, my next clue, I opened it and looked down, and in the next moment the bile inside my gallbladder came up, and so I gulped it again. I watched a boat rowed by two people in a silence. I said to myself, "How cool is that?" But then I thought, if only that was the case, then what was the use of the message written to me by Conan? So I concentrated more, and within the brisk of time, as I concentrated, I saw a shadow under the boat. That shadow was none other than of a blue whale. A blue whale's shadow under the boat making a 90 degrees. I was shocked. Is this something relevant according to the message? A scuba diving suit and ocean and blue whale? What am I supposed to do? I thought. The air hostess came near to me, and then she whispered in my ears, "It's time to go, Rosalind, ma'am." "Where?" I asked in utter thrill. I got goosebumps hearing when she said. I felt a hot breeze flowing inside me. Yes, I was on fire. My adrenaline glands already began secreting adrenaline. I gathered myself and then asked air hostess again, "Where do I need to go? We are just halfway. I'm afraid I'm not understanding what you are saying. What do I need to do?" "Ma'am, you need to put on this suit with the parachute, and then I will open the door and leave you through the emergency exit door," she said with a smile on her face. But why? I asked in a reflex action. I think you know that you aren't supposed to ask questions, and she replied, making the two colon symbols with her right and left index and ring fingers. I said, but what, ma'am? Do you need any refreshments before leaving our flight? She asked with all her politeness. Are you nuts? I want to say that there are blue whales in the ocean. What am I supposed to do there if one attacks me? I'm not ready for this. I shouted at her. Ma'am, please try to understand. The only clue I could give you is you are about to begin a new life. A life that is beyond anything else in the world. That is beyond explanation. A world only variants are hired to survive, and you are one of them, ma'am, she said in a consoling manner, as if it is her duty like all other air hostesses. Do you mean mutants like X-Men saga when you say variant? I asked just to check what she actually meant. Believe me, cross-questioning always helps. Don't you believe you are a mutant? Not inherited by family, maybe, but you have induced mutation in your genes from your environment. I mean the acquired ones, she said as she knows me from my childhood days. When the word childhood came in my mind, even for a fraction of a second, I got a nostalgic feeling about my friends at home. Who on earth knows where are they now? And paternal and grandmother's homes, the well in which few frogs lived and gave birth to its babies, and the 3 lakes which were owned by my great family since generations. My great-grandfather was a doctor, so am I. The well was situated between 2 trees of hibiscus, from where my grandfather used to pluck hibiscus rosacea flowers and used to offer to God while praying every morning. All these stuffs I saw within a fraction of a second in my mind theater. Hello, ma'am, the air hostess said, jerking my shoulders. Are you all right? I thought how anyone could be okay listening to all that she has told me about my future tasks. But I knew she was afraid, as I was looking like having absence seizure. An absence seizure is the term for a type of seizure involving staring spells. This type of seizure is a brief, usually less than 15 seconds, disturbance of brain function due to abnormal electrical activity in the brain. But then I recalled she might not be knowing that this type of seizure only happens to children. I was an Indian Army doctor, so I knew it, or not a big deal for me. But once I thought to make her confusion clear, but then I told myself, leave it. I wore the scuba diving suit and the parachute, and then I was thrown out of the plane. Thank you for traveling with us. Hope you come here again, the air hostess said while seeing me off while the flight was flying at 5,000 feet above sea level. I was bubbling out with anger with my crimson red face, but still I said, thank you for your guidance. Bye, but hopefully I would never want to see you again in my life ever. And then I jumped off. Chapter 4. Past 2007. As the agent said, nobody was going to come from the agency. We, the students who were soon to become medicos in a land where seldom people speak out seldom English words, looking at each other in utter shock. Okay, we will manage, so just hand over the passports to us, a guy said among us, the students. He was wearing a black tee with red collar line and a black trouser and black Adidas shoes. His hair was up to his shoulder length and his complexion was dark. I realized he belonged totally from southern part of India, basically known as South India by people like myself who belong to North India. You think, why would such a thing matter to people including myself? Because yes, it is a matter. We Indians treat this issue like India has been divided into Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere. Nothing coincides within us. Food, culture, movies, sports, and that's what secular country India is. We say proudly, unity in diversity, but people please remember, blending our customs with them is meant as a taboo, and this thinking is just based on region. I had already befriended with 2 of the girls among us, again belonging to South India, because frankly speaking, these things could even matter. But I was not aware of this very issue. I asked them, "Who is that guy? Do you know him?" "Nope," they replied. "Whoever he is, he knows Chinese, I guess. And or else he couldn't be so sure about us reaching the university without any help." I said to Tina and Ria. They were both classmates in high school. Then one more guy came in front and said to the agency manager, "Hello, I'm Rohit. And this is my friend Wajahat, my Chinese class batchmate." He patted the shoulder of Wajahat Khan, who seemed to be the previously mentioned guy. "We both know Chinese, so we both would like to co-guide others." "No worries. Now you can hand over the passports to us respectively," he insisted. Rohit and Wajahat seemed to be nice guys on whom you can trust blindly. They were smart but sober, and that was my first impression of them on my mind. My dad was standing beside me. He asked, "Are you comfortable with the decision of the agent? If you like, we can go back. Leave this and come back home instead. You are our princess. We can't trust random guys when it comes to flying overseas." Dad, calm down, please. I'm not the only girl here. Tina and Ria have become my friends already. They are also princesses in their family. Let me go, Dad. I can't live in India till I achieve a degree. The degree that signifies I have the capability to become a doctor. I requested. Okay, Dad said, having lots of tension going around his mind. Because there had been cases before that the students going to Ukraine for studying MBBS didn't reach to the university and they were never found again. It happened because of the fraud agents. But those evidences couldn't even stop me. The agency I chose was far more than trustworthy. I had also talked with my to-be seniors on call about everything. "I love you, Dad," I said. "We have always paid 3 lakhs to the agent. That's why I can't change my decision. If you want to know more about these guys who know Chinese, then let's come and introduce ourselves to them. We can also know more about them. After all, they are going to be my classmates in future." "Okay, let's get to them. Come, dear," my dad said after thinking for a few seconds. "Hi, I'm Rosalind. I'm also one of the students. But believe me, I can't speak Chinese, and the seniors have told speaking Chinese is very important in China. Very few people understand English. So how you guys have learnt it?" I asked Rohit and Wajahat. "Hello, nice to meet you, Rosalind," Rohit said. "Yeah, glad to know you. You are also coming with us. You are the one from North India, isn't it?" Wajahat asked to make sure my details. "Yes, I'm the one from North India," I replied after an abrupt halt for 2 seconds. I felt I was an alien from Jupiter for them. But they had a point too. Why on earth someone from South India would travel the whole country and reach to the agency of South when there were agencies available in North too? But that was a long story again. Chapter 5. Present 2017. I jumped off the plane wearing scuba diving costume and parachute. The airplane was flying 4,000 feet above the sea level when I got off it. I was flying with the wind in a horizontal posture. I recall the skydivers' videos that people upload on YouTube channels. The only difference between them and myself was that they were doing it on purpose and I was compelled to do without being provided even any earlier notification. Then I managed to look at my Swiss Army watch that had been provided after I had signed the forms of the company. I had no baggage with me anymore as I had to leave them behind except that watch. The watch was not a normal wristwatch. Of course, it was waterproof, branded, and showed distance above sea level too, along with time, day, week, and month. Frankly speaking, that was a smartwatch. At that very moment, I realized the company set all the plans before I could even imagine, so I decided not to use my mind anymore. My iPad, my HP laptop, my Samsung cell phone, my passport with the fake name and address were all gone like you draw a heart with the name of your lover and everything washes away with one wrathful wave of the sea. I sat down and it looked like panorama picture taken in a cell where you could see only ocean. Silent though, the smartwatch showed me I was 2,000 feet above the ocean level. I was so confused that I didn't even know that ocean was that. Anyhow, I opened the smartwatch kept on updating me about the distance. As soon as I reached 250 feet above the ocean, I saw a ship was waiting down over there. I started feeling goosebumps all over my body as I saw the ship. I swear I never ever have been this glad before in my life. I could see two men and two women giving me directions on how to land on the ship. I understand they were telling me to open up the parachute belt and let myself free from it. My heart skipped not on one beat, but maybe more than 5 beats. I was not prepared for this. But then I saw they started dragging a royal blue colored mattress that is often used by movie makers for my landing on the ship without any parachute from a distance of 200 feet above. I had never seen such mattress with so much depth and so cushioned, and then I landed. I didn't only land. I landed and flipped twice over the mattress and then stood steadily like the Olympians do in gymnastics. I was standing on my feet with my hands spread as wings of a dove. I was in peace as I landed safely and got a standing ovation and round of applause by the 4 crew members of the ship. I didn't know what would be coming ahead, but for the first time in my life I was not thinking about future or past. I was enjoying the present. I was alive and felt rejuvenated at the very present moment. I lied down on the mattress, breathing heavily, almost unable to catch my breath, in Leonardo da Vinci's human anatomy position, the Vitruvian Man, for 5 minutes. Thinking of nothing, maybe freedom always comes for a moment, once in a while in our lifetime, and only some of us have the capability to savor it. And savoring the moments, being in the present, is a kind of art of savoring everything that we do. We often forget that we have been gifted with a nature that is working even when we are sleeping to keep our surroundings stable, so that when we wake up in the morning we find the sun in its right place, rising from the east, moon not visible anymore, wind blowing, dewdrops present on the leaves, green grasses and trees soothing our eyes. There is only one thing that is unstable, and that is our emotion related to love. Like nature, love is also everywhere around us, but it gets interrupted by fear, hate, social liabilities, past mistakes, confusion, and distrust. But there is also one more thing to understand. If the negative emotions don't blind us, how could we keep faith and hope to achieve our destination of love and trust? We all want to travel the whole world. We want to meet strangers. We want to gather all kinds of memories, read so many books to find new stories, new experiences. But are we really going to get happiness? Happiness is always within ourselves, but we are trained to search in others always since our childhood. Blunder misconception we all have in our minds, and this truth is known by our hearts only. And we listen to it only when we feel it's broken by someone else. But heart is an organ within our own body, so how could it get broken? Only when we realize there is nothing kept in worldly goals, materials and people, and we find ourselves standing all alone in the traffic. At that point of time we begin feeling the energy that our heart had to offer. Because we have no other options left right then. Alone but not lonely ever. Once our heart breaks, we become creative. Why? The answer is catharsis, which means the process of releasing and thereby providing relief from strong or repressed emotions. Most of the times, all kinds of arts come under this category, because there are already artists since centuries whose hearts have been broken, who then understood the forceful energies flowing like river within them and explored great arts, machines and everything that could come out of humans' minds. Hey Rosalind, get up. Come here. Boss is waiting for you in the cabin. I heard a woman's voice and got up on the mattress. I saw 4 members, 2 men and 2 women. Hey, where am I exactly? Because I have been told I was going to Seychelles. And who all are you? I asked hesitantly. Everybody on the ship were excited to see me, as if they were waiting since ages. Hi, I'm Meghna. These are Karina, Vyomesh, and Saransh. We all are your teammates who are working on the same issue you are recruited for. The woman with the light coffee colored eyes said. That is something that made her and myself alike, as I always believe eyes are the roadway to someone's soul, and rest I assure when I ask them their birthdays. Because that leads to their zodiac signs and to their distinctive nature to some extent. Saransh came near to me and said, Boss is eagerly waiting for you. It's time. Let's go. I replied, Okay then. We both were wearing scuba diving costume. Frankly speaking, I was confused and lost. The ship didn't have a cabin. It had a huge 3-storied institute. And what was it doing in the center of an ocean? I saw hundreds of people in white coats working at their desks. Lots and lots of microscopes, test tubes, pipettes, etc. were kept all over there on never-ending tables. Kind of microbiology or biochemistry class, I thought. Sarge didn't take lift for going upper floor. He was walking before me and I was following him. I got the intense feeling within myself that Saraj was actually giving me a tour of the foundation. I was wondering all the experiments, documentations going inside it were too confidential. And then my mind said to me, Hell yeah, Rose, you are at the right place at right time. Chapter 6. Past. Oh hey, that's Prabhas. Is he also coming with us? Tina shouted in the crowd of the airport watching someone, I guess. Then Suruchi also became enthusiastic listening to Tina's comment. I saw even Vajahat and Rohit were talking about Prabhas. Everybody was watching towards the gate 4. I also tried to watch that way but couldn't recognize anybody. Is he your school batchmate? Is he also coming with us to China? I said abruptly without any single thought, and everybody stared at me with an annoying face. Tina said, Don't you know who is Prabhas? Nope, no idea, buddy, I said cluelessly. I can't believe you don't know who is Prabhas. Surji was astonished to see the way I responded. So tell me, who is he? I blurted out of frustration. He's South Indian film industry's superstar. We all love him very much. Tina explained. I could see a different spark in her eyes when she was explaining that. I understood Prabhas was someone like Shah Rukh Khan of Bollywood industry. All girls love him because he is romantic and all boys love him because he gives them tips how to win a girl's heart. Nobody among us knew at that time Prabhas was going to be the future Bahubali star willing to be famous all around the world, and I would still imagine the moment humorously when I assumed he was batchmate of Tina. It was time then. Time to leave India. Time to leave my homeland. My gut was revolving inside. I could feel. I waved my hand to my dad. I could see his eyes filled with tears. It's no wonder every girl is her daddy's little princess always, no matter she grows up one day. I was leaving behind everyone beloved, everything I cared for, mainly Indian food, air, monsoon, and my childhood. We were actually a bunch of failures in the eyes of India's population who could not get one seat in pre-medical tests to become doctors in future, even after attending coaching centers simultaneously with school studies and dropping for 1 or more years after school. And we all were taking a bypass road. But the bypass road meets the final destination as the normal road does. The only expense was those candidates who pursue medicine abroad would have to pass an exam called FMG, Foreign Medical Graduate Examination in India, after completing their graduation in MBBS. We were total 7 students going to Jilin University in China through Apex Consultants. There were many other students who were arriving in Jilin on other days through different agents. Ultimately, we all were going to make a count of 100 as the university had these many total seats per batch. I was happy to know the other students were going to come from North India and Northeast India too. I could speak English with my South Indian batchmates, Hindi with North Indian batchmates, and Bengali with Northeastern batchmates. I was incredibly happy thinking that. A ray of hope rekindled within my smile. Chapter 7. Present. Saraj took me to a photographer counter. The person at the desk instructed me to stand in front of a red cloth that would provide a red illusion background in the photo. I was given a poster written on that, nothing but Indian, in bold letters at the top of the poster. A photo of mine was taken with the poster, and then Saransh said, "Come soon, it's done." Literally speaking, I had no idea what was going on. Moreover, the shocking fact was how I could be the part of such a grand secretive organization. All I could guess was Conan had done his homework very well. Since Saransh had already told me before not to ask any questions, silently followed him and hushed my ongoing vivid thoughts. We entered a small room having bright sunlight over it. I could hardly open my eyes. The room was small, with small-sized, two well-furnished, comfy, beige-colored couches. I felt unusual in that specific room, as if the sunshine was changing my consciousness and my dark thoughts about my past, present, and future. I just became blank for a moment or two. The room had only one window, with an antique flower vase on the center table. Saransh handed me an identity card with my fake ID, which I began to like since 7 hours. He showed me the machine where I had to swipe my card. I did as he said. Saransh did not talk much. I guess there everybody preferred a sort of sound of silence. I was not certain enough about my senses too. I could listen to every kind of music that was going on in the background. The playlist included all kinds of music ranging from trance to Indian classical, filled with some words, sargams and taranes, part of classical Indian music. I was at bliss. But what was it? Was it my ignorance, or was it my curiosity at extreme to gain the knowledge that was hidden in the ship, Oscar 13, as they say it? I knew about myself at least nicely that I used to put all my energies just during my examination times in school, and after it used to get over, instead of sleeping and keeping my system shut down, I used to be awake and watch movies or read novels. Because there used to be an immense flow of energy within the interior complex of my book, and I subconsciously knew that I had to spend it anyways. Sleeping seemed such a wastage of time. What if 5 hours of sleep is enough for humans? Then we have 19 hours to give them time and complete our projects of everyday life without complaining. I'm running out of time. Come here, Rosalind, and step inside the marked area, Saransh commanded. I did as he said. There was a lightly marked circular area. As soon as I stepped on it, we began to hear a female voice. "Welcome, Rose. Hope you had a wonderful journey till now. You can ask me any questions you want. I am your guide on this ship." "What's your name? Who has designed you, and why?" I asked. "Hello there. I am quite happy to see your impulsive curiosity that you used to carry with yourself during your high school days. It's sad that you don't anymore." "How do you know that?" I asked. Then I suddenly recalled my days around Conan, but I didn't utter a word as I was waiting patiently for the answer of the questions I asked. Well, I'm Orchid, your supporter, your tour guide from now onwards, and trustworthy automated friend, and also whatever you want to call me. I have been designed by the company solely to help you." The sexy, slightly husky female voice answered. Her voice was woofing in the room. "Conan, didn't Conan design you?" I asked promptly. "I'm sorry, I can't disclose my personal developer's name to you," Orchid answered. "Why? You promised me you're going to answer me all of my questions. Here I am standing after passing all those treacherous exams, and yes, I know I have been made to sign the documents where I was not allowed to ask anybody any question. And mind you, Orchid, Vanda, or whatever your name is, do not tell me what I carry, whether confidence or sulkiness within me. True that I joined your company because I was vulnerable and did not have any definite reason to live up my so-called life, but also don't forget I'm standing right in front of you, alive after jumping from a flight, flying with a parachute, and moreover, leaving all my baggage behind, which you can never understand because you have been developed out of silly Java and C++, I guess, and so you are just a machine and can't have emotions attached to anyone. So do not dare to point your finger at me. I said out without a pause. I don't have finger, Rose. Oh God, save me from this bullshit. I started weeping. Calm down, Rosalind, please calm down, Sarah said. I wanted to cry since years, but I hadn't. Actually, I couldn't. All right, Rose, you're feeling devastated right now. So I'm leaving you with Sarah sir and going away. But I assure you I will be available to you all the time till you are on Oscar 13. So call me when you need me. Goodbye and all the best, Orchid said and became silent. Chapter 8. Past 2013. It was Thursday morning, 8 a.m. I was on the way to the hotel plaza. The sapphire sky with the white dolphin-shaped clouds was chasing my Ford EcoSport, the titanium as I like to say it. I kept the radio on 93.5 FM station with Samira, radio ki sabse khoobsurat girl, radio's all-time wonderful lady. She was persuading the listeners some sort of good tips on beauty and workout, revealing her bad health issues that she had previously, and nonetheless depression and anxiety accompanied with common idiopathic hypertension and hereditary diabolical metabolism related diseases. Rosalind has rosacea. Funny, isn't it? Samira just compelled me to remember my own issues rather than concentrating on her own real disorders or the chaos that she was establishing all around, rather than playing me some soothing music, compositions for which the artists, the sound engineers, the music directors, and lastly the singers and the innovators behind every single album. Yes, it was me reminding of my very own disease. All those dark invoice stuffs that poured out of my mind in the form of acid tears as it happened during teenage years swelled my eyes with little dark shadow circles round and corroding the first soft smooth layer of my unusual pinkish bilateral cheeks, evenly turning them into red. The dermatologist asked me to apply Episoft face wash and a bunch of tomato-contained crimson red capsules. The itching cheeks, although they appeared as if I was blushing 24/7, were undergoing a terrible state. I got appreciation and comment at the same time for looking disastrously beautiful. The arteries were opening endlessly into the outer skin, making it vulnerable to air pollution and ultraviolet rays of sunlight. My mind was always nervous when the inflammation of the cheeks grew prominent. Soon my thoughts came back to me and I realized the driver uncle changed the radio station and we were listening to Vivid Bharati, which is one of India's oldest radio station and most precisely meant for broadcast of old Bollywood songs including 50s, 60s and 70s. In those times, the movies were mostly black and white, accompanied with the evolution of colors to the screen. The rural and suburban population of the subcontinent began preferring watching as well as enjoying Bollywood dance steps and mimicking them. After 15 minutes of the driver said, "We have arrived at our destination. Hotel Plaza is here." I came out of the car. I was wearing a pink colored top and light green colored ghagra with a pink and green combo colored dupatta. With nude stilettos, I was feeling like I am Miss World. As I stepped inside the hotel with a plate of shagun, auspicious gift, in my hand, all my cousins and friends, uncles and aunts came across me. They started greeting me congratulations as it was my Sangeet dance and music day before my wedding day. I was happy and was feeling at the top of the world. I was getting married to Harvey Benston, my friend from China. He belonged to Mexico. We were batchmates in Jilin University in China, where we pursued medical degree together for 6 years. Harvey was the most handsome person in my life I had ever seen. He was tall, dark, and handsome kind of guy, and my charming prince was of the time. His English accent fascinated me the most. I asked where Harvey was. My cousin Arithra answered, "He's in the banquet hall waiting for you, so grab him." I felt shy. As soon as I went to banquet hall and met Harvey, I could listen policemen, sirens, and a voice. "The Indian police is here, MR. Mr. Harvey Benston." The Indian police is here, Mr. Harvey Benston. It would be nice if you surrender as soon as possible. We know you are here for marriage. Come outside, we are waiting. Everyone in the banquet hall stood up in fear and anxiety. What happened, Harvey? Why is police here for you? What have you done? I asked as I was afraid totally. I am a drug dealer. I can't tell you more than this. I'm sorry I let you down. I will have to go. I'm sorry, Emily. I can't marry you. Harvey said and left with the police, leaving me behind, broke. Chapter 9. Present. Conan was innocent, but last time I met him was outside the Principal Mira G's office when we were in high school in London. And today, also the same scenario, but we met at the edge of the ship outside the captain's cabin at the 5th floor. I swear I was entirely clueless over meeting him this way. Once again within this lifetime, family with no other girls between us standing nearby. I felt kind of safe, seeing with all the flesh and livelihood. It reminded of staring at him by all the girls around the school's campus. He was the student of the year in 11th grade and the prefect of the last grade high school year. And who was I? The prefect on behalf of the girls, but guess what? I represented only me and Conan represented the whole class. No matter what, Conan always encouraged my J-factorial expression of my genes, and that was quite obvious through my facial expressions too. But we were everlasting friends swimming in a group full of shit of other disgraced and ambiguous friendships. By the way, I did see him last year on the mirror hanging on the wall of my aunt's house when I was in Kolkata. It was a matter of seconds, and then he ran away like the flash. At first, I was not sure it was him, but nonetheless, I figured it out in a matter of months. Conan Brighton, the star of his environment, as people used to say about him. He knew magic. He knew magic as he belonged to a magician family. He could wander as a soul out of his own body in the world everywhere for 22 minutes was not only his passion but something, one of his best skills, and that I knew he had. He was passionate about Dharmraj Yudhishthir, one of the main characters in Indian's epic, the Mahabharata. Likewise, King Yudhishthir, Conan was good in thinking of ideas that surrounded wizardry, and also he was damn good Hold'em Texas poker player, the field which he was always attracted Yudhishthir. Once his project in science was to show the Mayavi Palace, the Palace of Illusion of Mahabharata, in 10 nano-square meter and he did it too well. I must have said it, but I didn't, because I was busy with my project. I made an ice cube. I'm seriously feeling like to laugh aloud, but I was a bio student plus a singer and a Zumba dancer, so I just felt happy to live with my J factor towards Conan and not praising him for his project model of the Mayavi Palace, which was an extraordinary appraisal in our school, and also when he represented the same at international level. Seriously speaking, I loved everything about him except the side effects of his inclination towards poker. Everybody knows what happened to Draupadi and other 4 bros of Yudhishthir because of poker. I mean Casino Royale of that era that preceded in India and which was almost likely to be alike with Mahjong of China. I was good in history, culture, custom subjects, so even I was in love with the crush of all times at school level of all age of my life. I kept always one hand distance from him. Moreover, we used to live 2 apartments aside. I took the same school bus from home. It was that time of summer of the year when Conan and I became a little bit closer, being prefects of the school in the last session of the academic year. There were only 2 seats left at the end of the yellow St. Joseph's High School bus. And guess what? Who were standing in the last bus stop? Conan and myself with my 8 years younger sister. As soon as the bus arrived, my sister went away inside the bus with a jump to meet her best friends at school, whom she eagerly missed since she left last Friday. And then the last 2 seats were where Conan and I resided till we reached school. Ma swear That was the first time I had ever felt that close to any boy at school. As if it was the month of February, no one talking about Valentine's time, rather eager to talk about science exhibition. How's your project getting established? I asked firmly. So nerd of you, Rosalind, he commented with a smile, having a grin. Why? Did I say anything wrong, Conan? I asked again, with this time with a little uncertainty. You know I am a magician, but still you are showing so much genuine interest in my project making. I swear I have not used any real magic instincts. It's just a simple sketch till now on a 10 nanometer square almond-shaped beige base, he replied. I felt my heart skipped a beat or two. Conan doing sketch of his hand and not doing any mystic appearance in his project. That was something bewildering. Everyone knew Conan did sketches and paintings, but who knew he would choose the Mayavi Palace, which would delude everyone on the day of exhibition because it was meant to be scientific? I asked curiously after gathering my thoughts focused on the project. You won't use any magic trick for the practical demonstration of your painting? Maybe if it's required. You never know what is going on in Conan's mind, he said, and laughed heartily, throwing an alpalibe at my side. I caught it with a brisk reflex and shouted, "Catch her out." He started laughing more, as I was a great fan of cricket those days and used to cherish spectating different countries colliding with India, such as Pakistan and Australia, including England. That was something that brought me up to have a sportsmanship spirit. As soon as we finished the alpalibe, the school arrived, and we set off to our classes, crossing the lawn, sports area, indoor and outdoor arenas, and the great library, as we need to say. My sister set off to her class with her best friend under my vigilance. And then suddenly I remembered I had to say the pledge that morning during prayer time in front of the mic, not in English but in Sanskrit. But then I was back to pavilion to my studies. Lost was project and lost was Conan into my mind's palace. Chapter 10. Saransh took me to the 5th floor with his gem identity card. Conan was in the administration department and was supposed to arrange the next task for me, and this time it was supposed to be not poetic. For once, and for the foremost time, it was supposed to be face-to-face. Saransh was not aware of my panic attacks that happened in past, and since I am a patient of schizophrenia, I needed to take one medicine every day without letting anyone know, excluding my family members. But I was aware of my condition pretty well since I was an army doctor before. As soon as we reached 5th floor through the tiny 3-membered 250 kgs tolerable lift that has glassy doors in 360 degrees fashion. But then I remembered that I had listed my baggage in the flight and every other stuff that belonged to me in my past. But right then I was in need of the medicine that I took daily. I asked Saransh if I could have sertraline in any way. No worries, Rosalind. This ship is a scientific hub and we have everything that you might need on the way. Just meet Conan sir first, please, Saransh said as I was feeling shortness of breath, dyspnea. I was in that condition because the doors of my heart, mixed with the childhood lost images of Conan and me as batchmates and perfect, accidentally flushed into tears, that the doors of my heart felt opened. I have never felt this way before, not even when I was in relationship. As Saransh and I reached with the 5th floor, we met a man with streamlined physique and also who had a footballer-like calf muscles in a diving suit. That was none other than Conan, our Conan sir. He was standing straight like Salman Khan sir of Bollywood movies, looking forward towards the bay of the ship. He was standing beside the railing that was provided in the 5th floor, resting his hands over them. Saransh told me to stand at a distance and he would better go and talk to Saransh about my presence. It was 7 p.m. in my Swiss military watch, the watch that never leaves me behind. The sun was gone, and it was dusky with little rain over the ocean. Conan's curly brownish hair was all wet, and very little did he consider about his dress because it was a scuba diving costume in bluish grey color made up of spandex textile. For the very first time, I felt I'm in love with his get-up and his personality once and for all again. Chapter 11. Saransh went and talked to Conan. I thought he would feel excited and would come to me running as we have been missing each other all the time, mostly after the Kolkata mirror incident, but he did not do that. He slightly moved from his location to a 4 o'clock position from the previous one and reminded Saransh of his next move. I couldn't understand anything at that moment. I was pretty disturbed because I was having a panic attack mixed with souvenirs of childhood memories, and here Conan did not even make an effort to look at me. I was startled by the way he reacted to my presence in the company. Saransh came up to me and told, "Sir said it's time." "It's time? For what?" I asked. "For our next move," he said. "What next move?" As it was my time of query. "Conan is moving into the Ministry of Governance. You know, I guess. Where there is drugs, there is mafia associates. And Conan is overdriving their senses these days. Even I am not sure what he's about to do, but he has asked you and myself to be ready," Saransh replied huskily. Saying that, he handed me an ash-colored revolver that I had always fantasized all my life. It's loaded with 16 small but tapered but sharp bullets. You and I need to handle this like we play Contra. So yeah, just be ready and get into the corner," Saransh commanded to me. "And what about Conan?" I asked. "He's weaponless because he need to follow the rule of the Ministry of Governance. He will give me a missed call if the situation would go in wrong direction." "Okay," I replied. Conan reached till the ministry's office door and turned back to check whether Saransh and myself were standing. He showed his hands to us, and we showed thumbs up. Conan knocked the door, and a lady in brown suit opened the door. I could not see her with so much intensity, but as soon as Conan stepped inside, the door got closed by itself. We waited and waited. Saransh was having a keen observation of the door and the CCTV footage that he could grab after making the AI officer of the ministry department smell chloroform. I was busy in exploring my new owned metallic gun. I was so happy that I almost forgot where I was and what my next mission was. Saransh called me. "Rose, look what I found." I gathered myself and promptly closed my gun and kept it in my back pocket that was specially designed in my diving suit that I got in my flight. In about 15 minutes, Conan came back from the room. The gatekeeper checked him once again, just to ensure he had no stuffs taken while coming back from what particular chamber. As Conan ran towards Saransh, I could see a variety of bright expressions on his strictly visible jaw-lined face. His physique of around 6 feet 3 inches was glowing, showing all the calf muscles compartments as he wore 3/4 diving black with fluorescent green outline spandex pant. I was awed by the scenery where he every time got fit easily into the ship for a moment or two. As he came closer to Saransh, he exclaimed, "They said yes." Saransh cried, also looking puzzled though. "What? How on earth did that happen? That too without the use of our special armed force?" Conan was too happier. I could see the same kind of enthusiasm he had when years earlier he was working on his Nano Palace of Illusion project. I was happy to watch him happy. I literally why. I heard Conan's voice from 10 feet away from Saransh saying, "Where is Dr. Rosalind? Is she all right?" A strange shockwave went from my heart to my feet. My knees suddenly felt weak. My voice was numb even though I wanted to shout that I was all right. Saransh said, "Madam is at the other end of the floor." As he saw me, he shouted, "Ah, there she is," and invited me to join with them. I crawled with a low pace, but in a while Conan reached towards me and snatched my left hand with his right hand and said softly in my right ear, "May I invite you to my room and help you out for this rough day that has not treated you well till now? I needed to guide you with a few important details. I hope you are well informed that I am going to be your main lead throughout the process." I was amazed by Conan's ever changing behavior, but said abruptly, "Yes, you may," as I was tired of questions to people since morning and on the other hand, being shushed by them in written. Chapter I gave my permission to Conan for the lead. Saranj said goodbye and left us on the top floor. Conan took me to a lift and said, "My room is a floor under this one. Just hope to inform you." "It's okay," I replied. In the lift it was just Conan and me. I left my gun with my hand into the right pocket. I thought to myself that possessing a gun and willing to not use it till the command comes was also a major talent that resides among a very less human population. My gun was full, but I was in a safe zone. I was with Conan, the same childhood friend. Although one important thing I noticed in him, he did not want to talk much about childhood stuffs that we shared together in past, or I was unknown to the present, and the future was one of the causes of our silence. The sound of silence is a factor of dispute between two friends, I had always afraid. The lift opened at the third floor and we stepped out. Just on the right side was Conan's private room. As he touched the door knob, a virtual screen opened on the door. He put the password presentation in a very weird manner. There were hundreds of stars displayed on the screen, and Conan touched the right amount of stars that were scattered within the screen of approximate 8 into 8 into 8 inch size. The door in front of us opened, and after stepping inside, Conan invited me in. I was dazzled by the password system. I had never seen any room password like that ever before. One thing I understood was that, firstly, I wasn't working for any simple or easygoing firm, and secondly, Conan was the captain of the ship as well as of the authority. "Please sit down," Conan insisted. I did as he directed. I sat down in the wide-spaced hall, which had a mantelpiece where exactly Conan stood, and tried to burn the fireplace. I was already in search of warmth, as most women do while being at a stranger's place, a common instinct. So here we are, alas, after tackling with all the hassles of life till now, we, the school prefects, are again sitting and having tea on the ship, said Conan. Since he said tea, and at the same time as I was also in search of something warm, the word tea made a different exaggerated sound within my ears. As soon as the pair of tympanic membrane eardrums processed the air vibration into electrical signals and transferred to the auditory cortex of my brain of both the cerebral hemispheres, I visualized Conan touching a key of a black remote that was kept beneath him on the center table with a flowering vase and a beautiful golden carved mat. Then entered a human-shaped metallic-bodied robot into the room where Conan and I were having some quality time after years. I guessed it was somewhere in the bedroom or a cupboard of its own earlier. The robot said, "Hello, Mr. Brighton," in Morgan Freeman's voice. I recalled I had seen him earlier in a video posted by Sir Mark Zuckerberg on his Facebook account. Sir Morgan Freeman's voice had always fascinated me. "Hey Rose, meet Samuel." "Hey Samuel, meet Dr. Colonel Rose, Indian Army Doc," Conan introduced us. Samuel, the robot said, within a pulse of a second. "Hello, Doc. Nice to meet you. Welcome aboard. I hope the recent future is going to be exciting, as we have such a beautiful doctor on board among them ourselves," I exclaimed, and told to Conan. Did he just flirt with me? "Yes, certainly, ma'am. I am allowed to do that sometimes, mostly on my first meet with ladies." Conan stroked a smile and clenched one of his, which I don't remember now which one. "Jokes apart, I am the one who has designed Samuel. He is our special guide on this ship, and his access can be done only via me. I have got his license," Conan explained. "Yes, Mr. Brighton is my only master, and I follow only his commands," Samuel interrupted, "though a bit, I feel. Or it might be a childish humanoid instinct to give his complete introduction to a stranger about himself. Riley, Conan said, "It's time, Samuel. Just introduce Miss Rose to the history of our doings, where resides the history of the company, and the history that repeats itself every time." Then Conan poured the tea from the flask to the 2 crystal cups that Samuel brought while entering into the hall. After handling the expensive teacup in my hands, Conan yelled, "Here's a toast to our history." Chapter 13. Samuel clicked some buttons that were located on his hand area and then opened the center of his chest. "Ma'am, this is our Exoticus diamond," Samuel directed as he placed out the magenta-colored diamond on the center table gradually. "A diamond? I have never seen such beautiful magenta diamond in my entire life," I proclaimed. "Definitely it is," Samuel answered. Conan was silently enjoying the tea meanwhile. Samuel continued, "Doc, if you permit me now, I can start with the presentation." "Yes, you may," I said. Back in 1698, there was Cold War going on among different nations of the world. The Northern Hemisphere was drowning within the pride of power and money. And on the other hand, the Southern Hemisphere was in the hands of drug dealers. You might be wondering drugs of what kind and dealers were whom as priority as you are a doctor. Let me guide you through this. The power and wealth of Northern Hemisphere was intoxicated by Southern Hemisphere's infuriated growth of cultivation of different styles of drug manufacture. I couldn't control my habit of query in between presentations, and alas, I interrupted. "What kind of drugs? The chemical ones, aren't they? Or you are talking about some special kind?" Then I eagerly waited for the answer. Samuel said, "Yes, I am not talking about simple intoxicating drugs that are easily available in the market these days, which has got fixed lethal dose ratio in our day-to-day life as per doctor's usage." I asked again Riley, "What kind of drugs you are talking about? You still did not answer my question. And what about this magenta diamond, huh?" "Ma'am, give me some time. I am here just finishing my command lines that has been designated by your very own lead consultant, Mr. Brighton. Steadiness and patience is important for understanding my presentation here onwards. Till now, I just made you to time travel through the introduction. The best part is here to come," Samuel answered reluctantly. Indigenously, the magenta diamond, so-called Exoticus diamond in Conan's language, flashed out a beam that was upside down, conical in nature. There came some words written. The diamond was an upgraded technological model of a simple projector with encrypted data and audio visuals hidden inside it. I was mesmerized by the beauty of Conan's creation. I just thought in my mind that Conan is no less than a genius, and his creations are the work of brilliance. He is some Einstein, my thoughts processed. A magician who not only does illusion magic tricks but also understands the viability of being a man of humble, kind, and benevolent nature, and also putting limitless efforts towards mankind's progression over duality. He's on the right side, destroying the dark side every minute of his life. I just wanted to tell him how much I was in love with him, but I couldn't, and I did not know when I could say forever. The presentation began in the manner as follows. "Hello, Dr. Colonel Rose. I am Exoticus Diamond, who helps you to time travel with me to any number of years in the past as well as in future. This particular presentation is designed for you and is a one-time process. After you will have watched, this audio visual will be destroyed forever. Thank you. With regards, Exoticus Diamond, Oscar 13, the ship." I dwelled into surprises. I backed up myself steadily on the cozy sofa, keeping my back placed over the beige cushion. I knew this was no time for messy questions, and it was time for learning and understanding as fast as I could, as this was only one-time process. I would not be able to click to and fro the video play, pause options, and reevaluate the situations and scenic equations like I used to operate on my laptop while understanding medical videos before examinations. One-time process, that's it. I knew Conan would give someone a favor only at the cost of obtaining something greater. Then the diamond started the presentation with the audio-visual effects. A person with deep husky voice started narrating. The war of power, money, and medicinal value of drugs continued as a cold war between numerous countries of northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Meanwhile, Mexico had access to all but wealth. A great Mexican scientist, Dr. Chuck Benston, who happened to be a passionate scuba diver too, discovered a peculiar chemical that enhanced drug sales value by thousandfolds. Dr. Chuck extracted that drug from a mixture of byproducts obtained from various corals under the Indian Ocean, where you are standing right now. He got all the patency, and hence the corals of Indian Ocean were designated to the Benstons then. As a result, the legacy continued. His son, Dr. Harvey Benston, is the patency owner right now, who happens to be from Jenin University, where you pursued your medical degree. But it is sad to know that Dr. Harvey Benston is of wicked nature. He knew the adverse effects of the medicine named Corpora aeruginalis, extracted from the coral Corpora virularis, has the potential to kill mankind if taken in quantity more than 15 picograms. In spite of having the knowledge, he supplied this drug to mafia, and to meet the demands of the drug, the previously mentioned coral have been compelled to bleach. The more the corals are threatened for human selfish demands, the more do they bleach and become dormant, resulting into imbalance in the water ecosystem. The Indian police got the information and took him behind the bars. After this incident, Mafia came to know that our firm has leaked the information to Indian police about Harvey, so they have hijacked Oxford 13. Right now, we all are in danger. It's only you, Dr. Rosalind, who can help us to get out of this mess. Thank you for listening patiently, and from here, Mr. Brighton will lead you. The narration completed, and I was doomed with this information. Harvey, my ex, he got arrested a day before the wedding day, I shouted. Yes, this is the same Harvey the diamond mentioned in the presentation, Conan said softly. I need my medicine first. I guess I'm having a paranoid attack right now. I have schizophrenia, I said. Someone started knocking the door. We all got nervous then because we knew who was it. Chapter 14. Rose, the mafia crew has arrived. All this time they were in oblivion, but this is the time when they come to check every room on Oscar 13. Conan explained in brief. Now what? I asked in horror. He directed as fast as possible, demonstrating. Listen carefully. Today Harvey is getting released from jail for a few months until Supreme Court's order comes by, and so we employed you today. It's high time that the aquatic ecosystem needs to be saved by you and me. Samuel will show you the way out from the behind door of my room. Please get the Exoticus diamond with you. We need to place it in the ocean. It will help in reversing the bleaching action of the corals. Ask Orchid, the voice guide, to find me after 30 minutes. Keep the gun and the watch with you. Swipe the card to enter the meeting room of the ship. Goodbye. Samuel then showed me the way out through the back door of the room, and as I stepped outside, I saw Samuel going inside a white-colored cupboard in the bedroom, and the door closed silently. Conan then might have opened the front door and confronted the mafia members. I did as I was directed by Conan. I was in search of the meeting room that was situated in the right corner of the third floor near the administration office of Oscar 13. I had to be very careful as the mafia crews were inside the administration office. I briskly approached the meeting room, swiped the card, and entered. It was dark, so I searched the switchboard. As soon as I opened the light of the conference room, I witnessed someone sitting in the front row wearing a brown long leather coat and a brown hat. I called the person. Who is there? Hello, may I know your name? I checked my gun and small Exoticus diamond. I knew I was supposed to meet Conan there, but the man who was sitting was not Conan. Hello, Dr. Emily Roosevelt, the man in brown coat said. I was thrilled to hear my last name from a stranger. I said it to myself. Whoever that person was might be one of my close ones. The man stood up and continued saying, You might be in great amazement listening your lost identity from the lost person whom you used to love in past. I am the man standing in front of you who was the blunder mistake of your life. I shouted, Are you Harvey? How are you here? Harvey said, Yes, it's me, dear darling Emily. You have not forgotten me, I can see that. Now you know everything about me. They have told you everything, but I still want to tell you something that nobody knows. He paused. And what's that? Hurry up. I don't have time to listen to your bullshits anymore. My first mistake was to love you in the first place, I asked. I killed my father because he was not letting me have the patency of Indian Ocean corals. I'm a scientist, a drug dealer, and a murderer of my own father. And now I'm going to kill my fiancée too. Ha ha ha. Harvey said, and I could see the evil in his eyes. He came up with a sharp small knife and tried to drill it into my chest. I was a kickboxer, so I escaped it and kicked him at the place where his liver is situated. That broke one of his floating ribs too. That I learned from a Bollywood movie of Sunny Deol. Kickboxing and martial arts was my ultimate fantasy, but I didn't know I would be having this kind of conversation with Harvey one day. We fought for a while and none of us won. I was fast enough, but he was expert enough though. Finally, I heard the voice of government helicopters landing on the helipad side of the ship. I knew it was time and Conan would never make it to reach the conference room. I had to get out anyways. I was done with fighting without weapons, so I gave a last hard kick to Harvey's groin area that made him lie on the ground in tremendous pain. Then I picked out the gun that Conan gave me earlier and bussed it at Harvey's right leg. There I knew he was not coming back at me anywhere. Chapter 15. I shouted, Orchid, are you there? I need your help now. Suddenly the speakers were turned on and the Orchid answered, Yes, Dr. Rose, how can I help you? Thanks, Orchid, for being there. Conan was supposed to meet me here, but it seems he couldn't make it. I know where Mr. Brighton is. He is roaming outside his body in the form of a unicorn with gills and fins. This is his version of a pure being. He commanded me to inform you about this when the time will come, Orchid said. So he is doing that now? Then what is my next command? I asked Orchid. Then Orchid directed me about the final task. Epilogue. I wore the footpaths and the oxygen tank and jumped into my beloved Indian Ocean. I dived deep till I reached the depth of corals and zooplanktons. Varieties of fishes I could see over there. Then I spotted the weird animal who I never seen before, the swimming unicorn. It was none other than Conan, I knew, but his form of unicorn was no less fascinating. Silver-bodied with a horn on his temple, four-legged and webbed feet, the swimming unicorn took my heart away. For the first time I realized something. A soul changes body, but nothing can supersede a pure soul. That's the beauty that resided within my friend Conan. Conan, in the form of unicorn, recognized me and showed me the way where I should dig the Exoticus diamond. That was the place designated by Harvey's father at the first instance. This was told to me by Orchid, the voice on the ship. According to this calculations, that was the place located at the center of the ocean. After I put the diamond at the calculated spot, a timer started within the diamond. Conan directed me to go back to the ship as soon as possible. I came back to Oscar 13. Saraj and Vyomesh helped me meet time as it was dark in the night. The police was everywhere on the ship. The mafia hijackers and Harvey was in police custody, which made me feel happier than ever. But I could see Conan nowhere. In no time there was a great amount of lightning in the ocean and every single thing was visible for next few minutes. We could all visualize the corals get into their standard shape and color. The ocean became normal once again. Everybody started greeting me, but my heart was pounding harder with time as I could not see Conan near me. I was restless, and that reminded me of my medicine once again. A helicopter showed light on the ship and everybody turned around. It was none but Conan. I felt him high seeing for him. My eternal love was safe and sound. That made me happier, and that feeling took all my homesickness back. I knew we were going back home then. The end.